Now then, we're talking dreams. Eleri, Sion with you here on BBC Radio Wales. Well, they have always been a mystery since the beginning of time. What does it mean if you dream that your teeth are falling out or maybe being chased by a yellow unicorn? There is an explanation, honestly. Well, if you are looking to unravel your nightmares or the adventures you go on while sleeping, Ian Wallace, dream psychologist, is with me for the next hour to give you the answers. You can call him on 03 700 100 110. You can text 81012, email eleri@bbc.co.uk, that's ELERI, or you can tweet us at BBC Radio Wales. Well, hello, Ian. How are you?
Eleri, I'm lovely. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm really good. I'm so happy to be speaking to you again. So remind us all how you became a dream psychologist.
I have been fascinated by dreams and dreaming ever since I was a tiny boy, Eleri. And I was so excited by dreams. I went to university and studied and became a psychologist. And I've been working with dreams and dreaming ever since.
So I would think then you would have been an exceptional dreamer.
Yes. We all are exceptional dreamers, but we tend to forget our dreams. We tend to think that they're just bizarre nonsense, rather than actually realizing that dreams don't happen to us. We actually create our dreams and everything we experience in them. So we're all exceptional dreamers, not just at night when we're creating these wonderful experiences, but also in waking life. Everyone has a dream, something they want to fulfill, an ambition where they want to succeed.
And is it true, Ian, that we will only dream about something which is real and that we've actually seen in real life?
No,
that's not true.
That's not true. That is in fact false, Eleri. And the reason for that is one of the things that we do in dreams is to make lots and lots of connections between things we experience in waking life. So you might dream of a tiger who's actually David Cameron.
Right.
That might be a nightmare for some people, it might not. But in that, it's a very real thing to you. And what you're doing is symbolizing an aspect of yourself so you can make the most of an opportunity in waking life. So lots and lots of very, very creative people have used their dreams as a way of imagining things that didn't exist and bringing them into existence. Like Albert Einstein, he literally dreamed up the theory of relativity.
Really? But it's important to remember your dreams then, because you can have these amazing dreams and forget them. And then, well, what would have happened if Mr. Einstein had forgotten?
Well, where would we be today?
Where would we be today?
Yes.
I'm glad that these dreams that we do dream up aren't all true, because we've got a fascinating one from Anne here. Are you ready? Can we kick off with one immediately?
I'm all set, Eleri.
Come on then. What does this mean? Asks Anne. I was watching a game show where some men were in catapults with mini sticks of dynamite attached to their unmentionables. I don't know how many these dynamite sticks were. Anyway, each time, I can hear you laughing in the background. Each time they got a question wrong, just remember now, this is a game show. Some dynamite went off and the catapult went up a bit until they were eventually catapulted over a giant teacup. Well, Anne, I think you should get a job here at the BBC as a commissioning editor. I would watch that game show. Now then, what does it all mean? What does this all mean, Ian?
Well, that's a fantastic idea for a game show. It'll be on BBC Wales TV next year sometime, I can guarantee it. We'll just have to think of a great name for it.
Oh, I could think of something pretty quick.
So when Anne's creating this wonderful dream,
the only way is up. No, come on then, right.
Steady on, Eleri. I think you're having a bit of a moment there, Eleri.
I'm dreaming.
Just take a deep breath.
Right, come on then, Ian. Get us back on track.
So when we create images in a dream, we're actually symbolizing aspects of our own self and opportunities. And a game show suggests that in waking life, Anne is playing around with some ideas that could be very, very powerful for her. Dynamite is a contained power. It's a power that has the potential to really transform a situation. So it's like Anne's got lots and lots of little ideas that she's putting together and building up and accumulating. And as she asks herself questions about how to put this into practice, it gets higher and higher and more powerful. And at some point, the catapult, which represents her ability to throw herself into this project and get it into action, as she gets more and more into this project and gets a clearer idea of it and her excitement gets higher, she'll be able to throw herself over it and get moving with it. And a teacup usually symbolizes something where you're discussing something or you're reflecting on something or contemplating it, usually from quite an emotional aspect. So Anne's been thinking about this opportunity she's been playing around with. She's got lots of really powerful ideas that seem quite small. And at some point, when she brings all these ideas together, she'll stop talking about this idea and actually hurl herself into action in a very powerful and transformative way.
So, if you had to advise Anne here, should she just go for it? Yes, whatever is going on in her mind with all these little ideas. Or you can't advise her to do that, can you? Because you're a dream psychologist.
Well, one of the things that comes up in dream psychology or any form of psychology is the difference between asking someone questions or advocating them, telling them to do something.
Right.
So what I would suggest for Anne is just to ask herself the question, is she ready to move yet? And keep asking herself that question every day. And at some point, she'll give herself the green light and she'll light the blue touch paper and hurl herself into action.
That's fantastic. That's why you're on the show. You are an absolute genius. Thank you very much, Anne. Anne, good luck with this. Who knows? Let us know what your next dream will be. Oh my gosh, because I want to know. Ian, thank you very much. More from Ian Wallace in a few minutes' time. But if you would like your dream analysed, don't miss this opportunity. He doesn't come around that often. So 03700 100 110. You can text 81012, email eleri@bbc.co.uk, or you can tweet us at BBC Radio Wales. So we'll be talking more to Ian Wallace, dream psychologist, after we enjoy this new track from a former Welsh Artist of the Week. She is the talented Kizzy Crawford, and this is Shout Out. And it is Advice Wednesday today here on BBC Radio Wales, and we have been sharing and analysing some of your dreams, of course, with dream psychologist Ian Wallace. More from Ian in a minute. But next Wednesday, our family history expert Kat Whiteaway joins me on the programme, and she's very keen to help out with your family searches. So if you've lost contact with someone, well, call the programme and challenge Kat to help you. Give us a ring on 03700 100 110. You can email eleri@bbc.co.uk. Text 81012 with the details, and then we'll pass your queries through to Kat before the show next week. So ideally, if you can get in touch with us before the weekend or beginning of next week, that would be perfect. And those are the numbers, of course, to call if you'd like Ian Wallace to analyse your dreams this afternoon. He's with us for a few more minutes. And Ian, we have Joan from Haverfordwest on the line. Good afternoon to you, Joan.
Good afternoon.
Will you tell us about your dream this afternoon?
Yes, well, it's a recurring, nightmare really.
Yes.
Where I walk along the coastal path and I reach a point where I can't go any further because the cliff vanishes and there's just a huge drop. Usually my late husband is visible, but I just can't get to him. And I also dream this just as frequently, that I'm lost either in a room or in a corridor where one door opens onto another door and so on, and I just can't get out. So consequently, I wake up in a panic.
Oh, Joan.
I know, it's awful.
Oh, that is horrible, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Ian, what's going on here?
Joan, it's lovely to speak with you. And although this sounds like quite a disturbing and scary experience, it's actually really positive and healthy, because what you're doing, Joan, is giving yourself some really good advice. And I'm going to share that with you now and just make it really clear for you. So the first part, Joan, is when you're walking along this coastal path, the sea's all about your emotions and feelings. And the land is where you feel comfortable, where you feel grounded. So you're going along and you're observing your feelings and emotions in waking life. And those can sometimes be in a little bit of a turmoil. And that huge drop where the cliff drops away, it always represents a transformation or a step that you have to take. And your husband being close to your late husband, you're embodying some part of him, Joe, and there's probably something that some really great quality that he had, that he was maybe confident, or he really looked after you, or he helped you make decisions. And now what you're doing for yourself, Joan, is having that self-confidence and having that authority and wisdom and making your own decisions in waking life. And that's reflected in your room and corridor dream, Joan, where you go into one door and it opens to another one. And it seems like a maze. And that can often indicate that you're feeling forced into making decisions in waking life that are making you feel a little bit uncomfortable. And it's kind of like Lyndon's dream with the tunnel. It's a rite of passage where you have to leave some of the past behind in order to step fully into your future. And that's not forgetting your past, Joan, because you'll still be honouring and embodying all those wonderful qualities that your husband had and attracted you so much to him. But rather than feeling it's all about unpleasant surprises in these different rooms and corridors, it's actually about opening up new possibilities and unrealised possibilities. And the more that you do that, the more you'll feel more confident in yourself and actually start to use all those talents and resources and wisdom that you've accumulated over the years. So it's a really positive dream, Joan, and it's actually just about putting your wisdom and experience in practice in waking life, and also having that confidence just to be yourself and feel happy in yourself.
Oh, thank you.
Do you feel better now?
Yes, thank you very much.
Oh gosh, good luck, Joan from Haverfordwest. Thank you very much for getting in touch with us today. Oh, Ian, see, that's the thing. Everything is positive, isn't it? Don't ever feel, something horrible is going to happen because you're having some negative thoughts. They're all positive dreams, aren't they? Listen, why don't we talk about Hayden's dream now? And Hayden says, my dad passed away back in 2009 at 76 years of age. I had just turned 50. For months after, my dreams were of just the two of us in familiar and unfamiliar places. But the most recurring dream was of us in a car, my dad always driving and me in the passenger seat. In every dream, bar none, no conversation passed between us at all. But we were very close and didn't stop talking when he was with us. So I guess my question is, why no conversation in the dreams, which faded out after several months?
This is a lovely dream that Hayden shared. So one of the most common dreams that people, in fact, it's the 20th most common dream, is encountering a loved one who's passed away. And as we've been saying earlier, all the characters in the dream represent aspects of our own self, our own characteristics. So for Hayden, his father would have some wonderful qualities that Hayden would embody, and he'd be using them to represent possibilities and potentials that he had in waking life. A car always represents our drive and ambition. It's how we're driving ourselves through waking life in the directions we are taking. So it's very probable that Hayden used to look to his father for maybe some direction or some wise guidance. And then he started to do this for himself. And this is why the dream faded away, that Hayden stepped into his own power and authority, and he started to make his own decisions and use his own wisdom. And the reason that there's been no conversation in the dream, although that can seem quite unsettling because you'd actually want to speak to someone you'd been really close to, a lot of what happens in our dreams happens in an unspoken space, an unconscious space, where no words need to be said, but everything is understood. So this is Hayden actually assimilating all his father's wisdom and incorporating his own wisdom into it. And there's a lot that just doesn't need to be said there because it's all inside Hayden, and he can now act it out and just embody it in the spirit of his father.
Oh, so interesting, isn't it? I hope that rings true with you, Hayden. Thank you very much for your email today. Let's move on to Andrea then, Ian. When I was growing up, I had a recurring dream that I was walking through a wooded area, but every time I stopped and looked behind me, there was a 6-foot fox standing on his hind legs, wearing a black cape and top hat and watching me from behind the nearest tree. I haven't had that dream for many years now, but what did it mean? Asks Andrea.
This is a fantastic dream for Andrea. It's another good programme idea as well, along with
I think it's lovely. It's a lovely character, isn't it?
Yes, this could come on after the Dynamite Catapult show that we were discussing earlier. So anytime we dream of a wooded area, dreaming of a forest, and this comes up in fairy tales and folk legends and myths all the time, A forest represents an unknown and unfamiliar area in waking life that's full of growth possibilities. So Andrea's going into an area in her waking life, some situation that she's not too familiar with it, but there's lots and lots of growth potential there. Anytime we dream of an animal, we're dreaming about our creativity. And a fox represents intelligence and resourcefulness, and maybe even a little bit of native cunning. So there's something in Andrea's waking life where she was going into an unfamiliar area where she could really make the most of her potential, but she had to be quite cunning about what she was doing and use her intelligence and resourcefulness and find the best way to make the most of her own talents.
Okie dokie. Andrea, I hope you're listening and you're taking everything on board there. Thank you very much for getting in touch with us. And one more, if you can squeeze one more in. Hello, Eleri. Terry from Aberdeen here. I've had the same recurring dream since my teens. I am now 65. I'm in my car going down a steep hill and the brakes fail, but I never reach the bottom. Oh, this is a common dream for a lot of us.
Yes, this is the 8th most common dream that people have. And so in Terry's dream, when this happens, we've said that the car is how you use your drive and ambition and get towards an objective. So now that Terry's at the age of 65 years young, then she's looking at what she really wants to do in waking life, and she's wondering what commitment she should make and what she's actually driving towards. And sometimes she can maybe feel that she doesn't have enough control over where she's wanting to go to, and can actually choose the road to her success. So what she needs to do, instead of trying to over-control the situation, is just relax her grip a little bit and allow her fundamental instincts and drives to choose the best path for her. So listen to her inner voice rather than looking to other people for their decisions and advice.
Wonderful. Oh, aren't you a genius? And I'll tell you this, what helps as well, you've got a dreamy voice, Ian Wallace. We could listen to you all day.
Thank you, Eleri.
You don't know what to say, do you? You've been an absolute gem. Thank you so much for everything this afternoon. And of course, thank you for getting in touch, because we couldn't get through that hour without your contribution. It's been fantastic. Ian, will you come back and analyse our dreams again?
I'll be absolutely delighted to, Eleri.
Oh, I cannot wait. Thank you, Ian. Oh, dream psychologist Ian Wallace there. If you've just joined us, don't worry. You can listen to all the analysis. Maybe you share a particular dream that's been described this afternoon. Just go to bbc.co.uk/Radio Wales and that'll point you to the direction of iPlayer, of course, where you can listen again.